Hello there, everyone. I'm Feño from the Fight Side, and I'm here to talk about the main event of Bellator 272. This is Sergio Pettis versus Kyoji Horiguchi. These both former UFC fighters. This is a very interesting fight, one of the best that you can make outside the UFC, I would say. So yeah, that's happening, and we're all very excited about it. So I'm here to provide with a little bit of analysis about fight. So this is interesting because both fighters got by the UFC. They're now should be in their prime years. Both are around like the 10th year of their careers. Horiguchi has had more fights and it's a bit older, but anyway, I think both guys in the primes. This should be a very good fight. It's very interesting stylistically too. So we'll see. Let's talk about Pettis first. Sergio, very technical striker, like very clean technique. He has assumed the role of an aggressive counter puncher lately. He likes to move forward behind the jab from both stances, and he looks to counter based on the reactions of the opponent. He's still very active with the jab and with kicks if the opponent doesn't open up, so he can stay ahead on the scorecards. But what he really wants is to the opponent to make mistakes and capitalize that. He's especially dangerous with the left hand from southpaw. Very good, like straight left hand. But he can also like hook from both stances, and he has been like very solid footwork. He has sometimes a bit of trouble seeing straight shots coming, but usually it's his feet and his reactions that keep him very safe at that phases. Um, he also is a very dexterous kicker. He doesn't have a lot of setups for the kicks. He doesn't lean very heavily into making the kicks like an active attrition work, but it's a tool that's there. The takedown defense has held up lately. It seems like he has been getting stronger at being a bantamweight, and here facing Horiguchi, who, despite being a super athletic fighter, also a former flyweight. So let's see my notes here. Yeah. So let's talk about Kyoji now. So yeah, he comes from a karate background. He nowadays doesn't bounce as much, but he still has this blitzy style that he likes to close the gap very quickly. He's very explosive, very powerful. He punches really hard, but over the years he has added like boxing technique to his approach. He's very active moving his head on entries, and he also makes sure to block with his hands and exit on an angle. Um, he's also like a very long kicker, despite not being very lengthy himself. His technique allows him to kick from way outside, and he's a very hard kicker. He can also counter kick. One of the things that Kyoji likes to do is also counter. He's very good at countering over straight shots with loopy hands, and he throws very powerful attacks. We've seen him use more leg kicks lately, especially in the Sakura rematch. So we'll see how that happens. When it comes to the fight, I think it's safe to assume that Sergio will be the one pressing forwards. I mean, both guys can fight moving in both directions, but I think if Sergio if Sergio pushes forward with the pressure, I think you will accept that and move on the outside. The important thing here is that Sergio needs to keep a close distance. I mean, might sound counterintuitive because Kyoji is the bigger puncher, but I think he has better access to his tools if they stay close to each other. Sergio, I would say, is the cleanest pocket boxer of the two, even if Kyoji is very dangerous over there. I think Sergio can put his process together better at a closer range. So what he wants to do is move move forward behind the jab, make Kyoji walk backwards to the cage, and then just jab and feint and use that to open up exchanges where he can use his rear hand and end up combinations with kicks when Kyoji is trying to circle out. Kyoji, on the other hand, I think he should use the threat of his power to keep a longer distance, that will allow him to kick more, to blitz, and make Sergio close that distance, and he can counter there. He's very good and very dangerous when fighters are trying to close the distance that he establishes. Feints will be very important in this fight. Both guys actually very active feinters. Sergio of the more subtle feinter of the two. He will do like small twitches with his shoulders. Kyoji a more big feint guy, but because he's so powerful, he usually gets the big reactions. Both guys have tools to deal with the fight I'm predicting. I mean, Sergio very good at dealing with blitzes. Actually, we saw Archuleta trying the shifting combinations, and Sergio very aware and usually took advantage of that, just took an angle and countered. And Kyoji, as I said, very dangerous in the pocket because he throws super hard and he moves his head. He's not an easy target there. So yeah, I think the directionality of the fight, it's very safe to assume that it will happen what I said. But the fight, I think, will be mostly decided with who is more successful with the feints and establishing the distance of the fight. Attrition work should help anyone. I mean, that goes for every fight, but I think it's something that Sergio is technically capable of doing, and he doesn't does a lot. Kyoji, we saw this new wrinkle of the leg kicks, and he's a powerful kicker. So we'll see. I mean, I think Sergio, it would be very smart for Sergio to invest early in body work and leg kicks. I mean, Kyoji himself is kind of easy to leg kick. Both guys are from foot heavy, but Sergio maintains this taller stance that allows him to deal with kicks better, in my opinion. So yeah, moving on into the prediction territory, I guess. I think Sergio has the tools to win long exchanges. I mean, long stretches of this fight. I think if he stays glued to Kyoji at all times and pressures, he puts himself in danger of being hit with something big, but he has more depth in that area. I think he can outstrike Kyoji, especially if he's constantly moving him back. I don't think grappling should play a big factor in this one. I mean, Kyoji has very strong reactive takedowns, and he's a very good wrestler overall, especially considering his background. But Sergio's defense looked very solid, and he's a very technically sound grappler, even if his priorities are not very good all the time. I mean, he can be held down on the ground, but I don't think. I mean, I guess Kyoji can steal round. I don't think more than that if he gets an early takedown. But Sergio is very good at getting back to his feet and not putting himself in danger. But yeah, I think even though I think Sergio will give Kyoji the fits on the feet for most of the fight, I think at the end of the day, Kyoji's athleticism and his tools will allow him to get the bigger moments with enough consistency that he will get the decision. Yeah, I mean, he's just too powerful as a puncher. He's a crafty fighter himself. That's the thing that we shouldn't overlook. I mean, we see Sergio as the more technically sound of the two, and fairly so. But Kyoji is also a very mindful fighter. He just have this more explosive style, and the margin for errors for Sergio seem to be a lot smaller on this case. So yeah, I'm picking Kyoji by decision, but both guys have a good chance. This is a very good fight. I'm very excited about it. You guys tell us in the comments, what do you think? who will win, give us our predictions, and yeah, that's it. I mean, if you have any questions, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Feño. Follow the fight site, please. Check us out. We have articles, we have videos. You can always subscribe to our Patreon, and we have a lot of stuff for our patrons. We have a Discord server. You can request content. It's all very good. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, check it out. Give us a shot, and let us know what do you think about this fight on the comments. See you later, guys.